Welcome, everybody. It's Wednesday. We're going to go ahead and get started. Yet again, we are going to be working on a new chapter today. So kind of going through the chapters a lot faster than I would like, but hey, we got to do it. So thank you for being on board with me today. I'm super excited to announce a couple of student assistants that we have today. And this person loves to participate in the chat. I always love what he has to say, and I'm excited that he actually gets to talk to you guys today and kind of share his thoughts. That's Colby for you today. So Colby, say hello to your class.
Hello.
Do you have anything to tell them as far as your advice or your expectations as a leader today? What do you expect of them as we go through a new chapter?
Really just to if a question is asked or if a topic is brought up, then instead of just listening to it, at least put your input into it, so you can kind of experience the learning.
Yeah, and Colby, you do a really good job of that. Even when we're going through notes and stuff, you're just writing stuff in the chat as you go, which is helping you, I'm sure, kind of express those feelings. So you do a great job of that. And guys, feel free, if you're wanting to just say something, pop it in the chat. It goes to me, and sometimes I might shout you out as well. It's great experience. And as you know, we're going to be using this material in a Socratic seminar on Monday. So you guys want to make sure that you're making sense of this. You're asking questions. Remember, that's what Socrates did. He asked questions to kind of get to the answer. So that's what we're doing here. We're going to be asking questions about Alexander the Great because there's lots of things to know. So thank you, Colby, for that intro. Joining you today is Mr. Aiden Brown, who you requested to lead along with you. What's up, Aiden? How you doing?
I'm doing good, and if I have to share any expectations, it's practically the same as Colby and mixed with everybody else's. So
awesome and very good. Thank you for seconding that opinion as well. We're going to go ahead and take a look at EDSB today. We've got a lot to do. There's a lot to do today with this chapter. This chapter usually takes me in the classroom about 4 days to do. So we're taking 4 days and we're cramming it down. I know that we said we're doing a chapter a day, but for this one, I'm making an exception. We're doing 2 days of Alexander the Great. Okay, so that's really good because usually we're going through chapter by chapter each day. So we are going to do a Socratic. I'm going to tell you how that's going to work a little later. I know the debate was, I wish it could have gone better, but hopefully the Socratic will be good itself. And I'm going to take it to EDSB to show you guys what's expected of you today. While I do that, Leilani, what's happening?
I just had a question.
Yeah.
About the document that you wanted us to print out.
Yes.
Is it the Alexander assignment?
Yes,
one?
that's it.
Okay. I was just double checking.
Absolutely. Thanks for checking in about that, because I know sometimes it can be confusing if, we're not right there on the scene. So yeah, it's a little tough. So I am going to show you guys EDSB, and let's see how we can do that today. Obviously, you guys saw the objectives. The objectives today, you're going to examine the empire of Alexander. It happened fast, it happened quick, and it was huge. So we're going to show how that happened. And then today, you guys are going to decide if he's truly great based on the documents we're going to read today, based on the things that we're going to show you today. Is he truly considered, can he be considered truly great? Okay. So today, guys, there's no IXL skills. You are here for the live lesson. Like it happened Monday, we went a little over. I encourage you guys to stay as long as you possibly can, just to kind of hear the explanations of everything. But I do understand if you have to go as well at that time. So if we go over, it could happen today. Thank you for staying with me today if that does happen. There is a PowerPoint. It's attached right here. It has all the notes that you might need to refer back to for the Socratic. So please utilize that PowerPoint. It's a PDF format for you. Your assignments today. Okay, guys, I'm going to take this a little slow. Number 1, there is a video. It's a YouTube video. It's from the TV show Ancients Behaving Badly. Okay, it is something I show in class every year. We take notes. We use it as a resource in the Socratic seminar. I'm going to have you guys watch the video. It's 40 minutes. Even if you watch 10 minutes, even if you watch 20 minutes of it, you're still going to get really good information about Alexander. Feel free when you watch it to bring a pen or pencil with you, some paper, and to jot down some things, some primary things from the video that you'd like to use. While the document that I posted is more positive about Alexander, this video really gives another perspective of that other side. So it really balances out. So if you're like, wow, the document really likes him, he seems really great, the video is a little different. So I love showing that because it gives that balance. So there's the link to the video. If you have any trouble finding it, getting it, just Edsby me. I'll send it to you, and I might even post it again. And guys, the documents that I posted yesterday that you have printed is not only one of the sources for the Socratic, but if you printed all the pages, it is also your homework that's due Friday. Okay, so we'll look at that a little bit later. That's why I want you guys to stick around with me, is so that we can go through that together. We'll go through that document and I'll show you. It's just 4 multiple choice questions and a short answer question. So it's nothing too insane. Plus, the document's really going to help you in the Socratic. Okay, so guys, the video of Alexander and the document, really, you could get that done right after the session in the hour time that you have allotted for history work. Okay, so if you really want no stress, it's perfect. Okay, you can watch the video for 30 minutes and then do the document for 30 minutes and you are solid. Okay, so that's what's going on. PowerPoint is here. And then guys, if you scroll down to yesterday, this is where you'll find the assignment. Okay, Alexander assignment. I post those the day before, so you can print them out ahead of time. So that's where the assignment is here, and the PowerPoint. So it's all kind of right there on Edsby. Taking it to the questions. Does anybody have any questions about what you just saw or what's about to come? Okay, perfect. Colby, Aiden, can you think of anything that may have popped up in your minds?
No, just that if you're watching the video, I recommend if you take notes, do like bullet points, because like it'll separate your thoughts and it'll be easier to pull information from.
Beautiful suggestion. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that, Colby. Very, very good. Good recommendation there. I'm going to take it back to the notes, and I kind of have I guess, words of positivity to kind of start today. Basically, we are finding successes during distance learning. Some of you are doing well with this. Some of us aren't. It's still tough for us, but celebrate what you've accomplished, but raise the bar a little higher each time you succeed. So every time you do get that taste of success, if you raise the bar a little higher each time, there's no limit to what you can possibly do. That's by soccer player Mia Hamm, who said that quote. Aiden, do you have any thoughts on this quote, or Colby?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of explains itself.
Yeah, definitely. It tells you that if you've had success, that you can get a little better and better each time, and who knows, there's no stopping you. So just know that don't ever feel comfortable like, oh yeah, I did that, so now I can just kind of stay here. Drive yourself to go to the next level for sure. That's a great thing to do. So there's your words of positivity, and use them as you need. We're going to do some notes on Alexander, guys. Again, feel free to write what you want to write. and don't have to write it if you don't want to. You can always print out the PowerPoint and have that with you for the Socratic. And some of us, like Colby said, it might help if you do take the notes. It might help, okay? And then we're gonna show you guys your independent work for today. I just had a really, really good question on the chat. So Friday's work, what's due Friday? I'm definitely gonna go over that. And while we're already past chapter 29, chapter 29 is the test that's Friday, okay? In addition to your questions that are due. So like I said, stick around and we'll go over all of that at the end. I know it might seem a little overwhelming just because we are going chapter to chapter, but I promise you it will be totally fine, okay? So going to start with the notes here, we are actually going to be focusing on an area of land north of Greece. And if you've taken geography, hopefully you guys studied the area of Macedonia. Okay, so Macedonia. As we've been doing Greece, we really have never paid any attention to this area of land up here above Greece, Macedonia. I mean, Sparta, Athens, we've been all about these city-states. They've been all about themselves as well, like trying to, find what works best for their governing. So all the other areas were kind of like ignored. So Macedonia, guys, is going to be a huge player in this chapter. So let's continue on. After the Persian Wars, we know Greece found victory in those against Persia. And then, of course, Persia retreated. They said they will never try to conquer Greece again because it was so devastating to their armies. Well, in true Greek fashion, Athens and Sparta again went to fight each other, okay? Because they just were such different city-states. They quarreled, they bickered, and those Peloponnesian Wars lasted for 27 years, okay? So for 27 years, Athens and Sparta was occupied, I guess you can say, with fighting, okay? Paying no mind to the outside world. So while these two city-states fought, Macedonia was like, this is our time to like grow. This is our time to get a large empire going. And so they were kind of growing. Sparta and Athens weren't really paying attention. And then Sparta won, making it the most powerful city-state. So Sparta beat Athens in the Peloponnesian Wars. So just kind of as that war was going on, Macedonia was kind of secretly getting a little bit better, okay? In Macedonia at that time, Philip II was the king. Seeing this weakness, seeing these two city-states fight, he said, this is a great time to take over Greece. I know Persia tried it, didn't have any luck. Maybe we will, because they're so like exhausted from fighting for 27 years now that maybe this is a good time. So while Athens and Sparta quarreled, King Philip II took this as a sign. He led the city-states, he conquered them. However, he let them keep their freedom. You guys can, stay doing the same things you do, but I'm gonna be your ruler. And never again, after Philip II succeeded in taking over Greece, would Greece be a very prominent city-state or a great prominent power ever again. So that goes to show that while you're kind of busy doing other things, there's this other thing out here that is ready to go. And that's what Macedonia did with Greece. Okay. Now, as Philip II had all this momentum going, he was amazing at this. Philip II was murdered. Okay. He was murdered. Now, some people say that Alexander may have had something to do with his father's murder. Okay. It wasn't some random thing. Like he was stabbed. Philip II was stabbed. So that's just, a speculation. But guess who became king after Philip II? Well, Alexander did. So that's why some people say that it might have been a little fishy and something might have happened there. I do see some hands up. Andrew, did you have a question?
Oh, well, yeah, I did want to mention that I thought that Alexander might have been part of his father's death.
Yes, and you read that correctly, Andrew. You're right on there. Seeing exactly who becomes king. And we know back then the kings had many sons. We know that they, had many wives. So to have Alexander be that person sounds a little fishy. Martin, I see that you have a question or something to say too. All right, Martin, we'll come back to you, or you can put your question in the chat and I can go ahead and read that out to the class if you'd like to, if that's easier for you. Okay, so now guys, Alexander's this king. He's super young and he has this whole conquering ahead of him. Okay, moving on to a little bit more about Alexander as a person. He took the throne at age 20 years old, okay? I think he started out on the battlefield at age 16. So he definitely had some experience out there fighting. His dad was a huge influence. He watched him and learned from him, okay? Now, as a child, Alexander had the amazing opportunity to be trained by one of the smartest men ever considered, one of the smartest philosophers, Aristotle. He was trained by Aristotle. So he not only knew the battlefield, but he knew poems. He knew the Iliad, the Odyssey. He knew those epic readings. He knew math. He knew all of those subjects. So, ladies and gentlemen, does the learning and the battling, does that coincide to make the best leader out there? We know Athens, they focused a lot on the intellect and a little bit, on the physical. We know Sparta was all about war, no reading, no writing. But Alexander really had the perfect combination of the schooling and the battle strategy. So does that truly make up a good leader? That's something to consider in the Socratic seminar. So he wanted to continue to fight with Persia. He wanted to continue to fight against Greece and to take over even more. So he thought by giving Greece a common enemy that they would unite as one. Okay, so Alexander's plan was to create an empire, his large empire, using terror, but then kindness. So kind of like the Assyrians when they spread those tales of like their nightmarish ways. But yet Alexander said, when I do conquer you, I'm going to let you keep everything. So it's kind of like having that terror and kindness all at the same time. So if that makes sense, kind of the best of both worlds in a way. Yeah, lots of competition for sure, Maddox. Absolutely. So that's a little bit about Alexander. When you watch the video today, you're going to learn a lot about his relationship with his mother, okay? So his mother, they called him a mama's boy. He was, calling his mother, he was with his mother all the time. They were writing back and forth. So again, the relationship with his parents seemed very, very deep, but that also could have contributed to his ways as well. So the video has a lot more to say about that too. All right, so here is a map of his great conquests. This is about 323 BCE, and this is Alexander's, this is his conquering. So the green is everything he conquered. The red is his path that he took, obviously starting here in Macedonia and then moving on. You can see pretty much all the places we've studied, a lot of them he's conquered. So looking at Egypt, looking at Babylon, all the way over to India, okay, and the Hindu Kush Mountains, Persians. Look at all the places that he conquered, one person. but building up along the way. What do you think about this, Colby?
I mean, that's kind of crazy because like if we after all like the civilizations we've studied, like ancient China was trying to grow more, and Mesopotamia was also trying to like expand, but like this is the first time you've actually seen them like achieve what they're going after, like, and like it's so big to the point where like I think he's almost to the point where he's satisfied, because if he wasn't, I think he could get even more land the way he's doing it.
Wow, very, very well said there. I mean, you're right. We studied about Mesopotamia and how they wanted to get bigger, but they just couldn't figure out how to rule such a large area. And that large area, guys, is just right here. And so look at all the area that Alexander has. And yeah, you're right, Colby. If he would have, spoiler alert, stayed alive, he probably could have taken more land. And, you know, he may have been satisfied, but he might not have been satisfied. I mean, seeing everything he's capable of here, he might be hungry for even more. So yeah, it's just a crazy thing to think about all those empires, how truly small they are in comparison to what Alexander's, you know, responsibility is. So that's really, really impressive to me. Andrew, you had something that you wanted to say as well. What was that?
Right. This guy would have conquered the whole globe if he wasn't so drunk.
Oh yeah, so you're talking about his rages. Yeah, he had some problems that he dealt with, and yeah, unfortunately, yeah, he really, really could have done that. Maddox, what do you have?
I just like to say that because probably we've learned about like Mesopotamia, how they had trouble kind of uniting everyone. Usually they were kind of controlling the area. Even though they were all under one rule, they kind of didn't have a common enemy like Alexander put in, sort of. So they wouldn't unify and actually work together. So they were kind of separate from each other, that left holes where people could puncture through in weak spots. So now since Alexander conquered, basically, I guess, yes, this is basically most of the civilizations we've learned about, correct? These are like,
Correct.
yeah. So he's kind of given them all, well, I mean, of course he's going to have to fight the common enemies of every single empire that they had, but since they're just common enemies, they don't have any weak spots because they're all working together in certain areas.
Exactly. You said it well too. And even if there was an empire standing in his way, you know, he said, you can keep your culture. I actually love your culture. No, we want to embrace you. And so it made people feel like they wanted to join in. So that's the next kind of point we're going to get to, ladies and gentlemen, is his plan when he conquered. Like how did he do what he did, what we just saw on that map? How was he able to do that? Well, he had plans, like he had a strategy. So we're going to go into what those are too. Feel free to write these down. If you think these are ways that might contribute to his greatness or lack of greatness, write these down so we can discuss them in the Socratic. So his goals, 1, he wanted people to accept him. Okay, don't we all want acceptance? So that's all he wanted. He wanted people to accept him as the ruler. Okay, now growing up with Aristotle as his main teacher, he loved Greek culture. He grew up, you know, reading and writing and the literature, like everything. So he wanted to spread that to others because for him, it made a huge impact on his life. And he thought it was amazing. The architecture, the gods, the language, everything. So he wanted to spread Greek culture around. And then he also wanted to take everybody of all different cultures, races, and creeds into one government and blend them all together. So it sounds beautiful. It sounds like kind of what we want in this world, is to bring everyone together. Yeah, maybe we want to spread Greek culture, but we want to spread our own cultures. And yeah, so that just seems kind of like a too good to be true goal. Now, Colby, Aiden, do goals always go as planned?
No.
Yeah.
Most of the
So
time, no.
most of the time, no, but you can have a good intention. And so that was his intentions. So his plan, wherever I go, I'm going to spread Greek culture. I'm going to make it look, like an agora. I'm going to have a marketplace. I'm going to have buildings with these beautiful columns. We're going to speak Greek. Okay. We're going to address people in Greek languages. So we're going to do that. That's one of my big goals. After that, we want to use religion to inspire loyalty. So basically, we want to make sure that, we spread the Greek gods, the Greek myths, all that stuff. And then, of course, we want to show respect for cultures. Oh my goodness, show respect for cultures? Like, who is this guy? This sounds great. Like, yeah. He did try to make Greek the new Latin. That's absolutely correct. So he really wanted to make Greek spread. And honestly, guys, if it weren't for Alexander, we wouldn't see a lot of the Greek influences we did today, because where it spread over here, a lot of the Americas traveled there, went there, conquered there. So we would not have what we know in Greece if it weren't for Alexander. Okay. So that was his plan. Seems great, seems nice, seems legit, but it all kind of went, its own little way. So Greek culture, what he meant by spreading that, like I said, the Greek style buildings, the Greek style cities with the agora in the center. He insisted that Greek only be spoken. And one of the most famous cities, you may have heard of Alexandria, named after him. And I have a map later to show you guys all of the Alexandrias that he made in his conquering. So that's kind of what we mean by spreading Greek culture is all of this here. Buildings, Greek language, and then the agoras. So for the gods, because we said he wanted to spread, the Greek culture through religion. He honored Egyptian and Persian gods, which we know he conquered Egypt. We know he took over a lot of their areas of Persia. And obviously he supported Greek gods. So kind of adopting all of these gods together probably made people feel more comfortable, like, oh, I can still keep, my Egyptian gods, or I can still keep praying to my Persian gods. He actually not only let them keep them, but he himself honored those gods too. So that was pretty impressive from a leader standpoint, because usually it's like all about me, and what I want, and I want too. So that's definitely the case. He built temples in honor of the Greek gods. So again, Greek culture was spreading. And then Alexander, because, as a leader, you have to do this. Like, this is just, you have to also declare yourself as a god, as a leader. So that's exactly what Alexander did. He told people he was a god. He told people, he was descended from royalty. And he even wore a special crown. And he had all the Greeks accept him as the son of Zeus. So again, there is a little bit of that kind of self-centeredness that we see with a lot of the leaders that we've studied. There it is coming out, oh, I'm a god too. And I think a couple of slides back, you saw that special crown he wore. Let me see if I can go back. There it is on his coin, which of course he coined money with his face on the money. So there's that special crown. You can kind of see how he looked there. So that's a little bit of Alexander for you. And of course, he had to be a god too. Adopting other cultures. Okay, so he adopted a lot of different things from a lot of different cultures. So for Persia, spoiler alert, he ended up marrying the eldest daughter of Darius the Third. So if we remember Darius, we remember, him trying to take over Greece, and he was pretty successful for a little bit, but he actually married a Persian. So when that came about, he decided to like love everything Persia. So he adopted the Persian style of government for himself. He borrowed Persian customs, such as like the type of clothing they wore, the luxurious big tents that they had. And if you ever watch 300, there is a scene where they had the big tents. They're very like really pretty, but don't watch 300 if you don't get your parents' permission. Decorations, all of the decor, the Persian decor, he adopted all of that and all those customs. He asked to be greeted in Persian customs. Okay, so like so much to remember. You're the son of Zeus, you are Greek, but you're kind of Persian. So much complications with how he wanted to be. And he encouraged marriage between the Macedonians and the Persians. He thought that would be a great combination. He himself decided he would lead the way or model that request by marrying a Persian himself. So I think the slide back here showed his marriage, his wedding with Darius III's daughter right here. So yeah, that is Alexander. He, you know, again, we could say he could have demolished all these cultures. He could have killed all these people in his way. But he actually insisted to do the opposite. So is that truly great? So that's for you guys to decide in your Socratic. Here's one of my favorite photos. And again, it's the Empire of Alexander. But if you take a look at the cities, especially over to the east, there's a lot of Alexandrias. I want you guys watching at home to go ahead and try and count to see how many Alexandrias you can find and put that number in the chat. All right, so take this moment to count how many cities of Alexandria you see and pop that number in the chat. Ready, go.
Jeez.
I'm getting all different numbers, so make sure you guys are efficient. I'm seeing 8, 9, 10. Those seem to be popping up the most. Is it 8, is it 9, or is it 10? All right, Colby, what do you think?
9.
9. Aiden, do you agree?
Yes, I do.
You see 9?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I see 9 too. So if you guys said 9, that is the right answer. Good job, and thank you guys. You don't have to write the numbers in the chat anymore. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so one of the most famous Alexandrias, guys, is the one right here in Egypt. One of the famous ancient wonders of the world, which sadly no longer exists. We'll talk about that. There's a library at Alexandria, and unfortunately it carried, well, fortunately, it carried a lot of documents, like historical documents through time and things like that. Unfortunately, it was burned. So we've lost all of that. And one of my favorite parts of going to Epcot, which was supposed to be last Friday, is we go through the ride and we see the burning of Alexandria. We actually even smell it. It's part of the smell-o-vision at the ride too. I actually have a candle. Someone got me a Disney candle, the smell of the Library of Alexandria burning. How interesting. So that is something that is really obviously very important to see in history, because we lost so much in that fire. So yeah, that's really sad. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna take this opportunity again to just quickly review with you Alexander's goals: people to accept him as a ruler, spread Greek culture, and bring everyone together. His plan, use religion to make himself loyal, show respect for cultures, and spread Greek culture. You guys yourself saw a map with all of his conquering, all of his cities. So taking those into consideration, everything seems well right now. And like I said, this is very important for you to watch that film so you know some of the other things that, you know, aren't so cookie cutter, because, you know, the textbooks in Across America usually kind of tell us one side. So I want you guys to see this other side. So as of right now, what I would like us to do is, you know, how we're feeling about Alexander. Is he truly great? What signs are we kind of seeing that he is truly great? I just want us to come up with some thoughts about him so far. So I'm going to put you guys into breakout sessions so that you guys can start discussing these thoughts. Now, maybe some of you know a little bit more than what I'm presenting, and that's totally cool. Maybe you guys can share those in your breakout rooms. So what I'm going to have you guys do is just kind of start talking like you almost would in a Socratic. Remember, in a Socratic, you call people out. Hey, Arij, what do you think about this? Or, hey, you know, Brady, what are your thoughts about Alexander spreading Greek culture? Is that good or bad? So making sure you call people's names too in these sessions. Try your best to unmute yourself and talk during these so you can get your practice talking like you would in a Socratic. And go ahead and just kind of ponder your thoughts so far about Alexander the Great, okay? Make sure you guys stay on task. Make sure you use really good teamwork, working together and asking people to elaborate if you need them to. And just kind of take a nice little moment here to just start to gather those thoughts about Alexander, about his goals, about what he did.
Hi, Miss Kara. Oh, she's still in here. Okay, Liam, what do you think?
Alexander the Great seems to also be another one king ruler person, just like a bunch of other ones that we've already went over. Just seems to be another one.
Alright, so what do you think again?
How are you guys doing over here?
Oh, we're doing okay.
Good. So what are our thoughts so far? Will, what's your thought about Alexander?
My thought about Alexander the Great was that he's a pretty good leader, because although he did conquer all of those city-states, he did let them keep their religion and tried to, like, make everyone happy. Oh, and the only downside that I think of him is that he had a point in killing his father.
Yeah,
Like
he may have. You're right.
So, yeah.
What do you think, Victoria or Kate? What are you guys thinking about him?
I think he's kind of self-centered, but otherwise I do kind of think like he was a good leader, except also what Will said about how he killed his father, or well, how he like may have, like we think that there has something to do with that.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Yeah, we'll keep the combo going, guys. Good job.
Miss Kara?
That's great. All right. Juliana.
Okay, so like
Oh wait, what?
Wait, what?
Brian, you'll go last.
So of course. Okay. So I think he's great, and I do agree with you that with you guys that he's want to keep people's religion instead.
Rochelle, what are you thinking about Alexander so far? What are your thoughts?
I think he's a great person, that he conquered all that land, like, kind of all by himself. It's kind of like whoa. And he didn't just like go to war instantly. He like tried to like convince them that he's nice. He won't like get rid of you and turn you into slaves once like he conquers you.
Yeah. Karis, do you believe him? Do you believe that he's truly great and that he would accept all cultures?
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, keep the conversation going, okay?
Okay.
Matthew, what are you thinking about Alexander so far?
I watched a little video and he killed like lots of people.
Yeah. If you were in his way, right? What do you think, Caleb?
I think he's good because even though he's taken over their city-state, he let them like still be free.
Okay. Do you agree, Addison?
Yes.
Okay. Do you care to elaborate at all?
I mean, like, I do agree because he let them, like, not do what they want. But technically, we'll have some things that they could do even though they took over.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do agree.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to just be conversing for a few more moments. So Colby, feel free to take the lead here.
Okay.
You guys are awfully quiet. Aiden, what's going on?
Oh, we're looking for something else to talk about.
Yeah, we can't really. We've covered most of the subjects already.
Okay, so you guys are ready to go back into the main session pretty much then?
Yeah, like
our group is, yeah.
The papers right
All
now.
right, very cool. So then I'll give you guys one more minute to wrap it up and maybe decide what you want Aiden to say, because you guys are lucky you have somebody here that's unmuted during the session today. So maybe kind of tell Aiden, because he'll be sharing, okay? We'll go ahead and kind of wrap this one up, okay, guys?
Okay.
I'm going to close the breakout room, so feel free to come back to the main session when you are ready with your group. Don't forget to say thank you for good conversation, and we're going to bring it back to the PowerPoint, and we will write down some things that you guys spoke about, okay? So let me make sure that you guys are all back. Hopefully you guys had some good conversation while you guys were in there. I definitely heard some good conversation while I was kind of in there with some of you in the session, so good job. All right, Colby and Aiden, you guys had the pleasure of being in some groups today. So I'm just gonna kind of have you guys tell me what some of the thoughts that you heard were, and then we'll take it to the rest of the class too, who may have been in other breakout sessions. I'm gonna actually write these down so you guys can do the same if you want to. Aiden, we'll start with you. What were some thoughts that that kind of maybe made you go,
So our group talked about how he was how he was giving everybody their rights to have their own religion and and still worship that, and he worshiped both or most of the religions over the people he conquered. And we also talked about how he did what many others couldn't and conquered the land and conquered a lot of land. And we also touched a little bit into him claiming, or not him claiming, but him becoming king after his father's death. And we had 2 people in our group, and I was one of them, saying that it was probably because he probably didn't kill his father. It's just his father died, and then he became king. But
Okay.
we also had others arguing that he possibly killed his father.
Okay, so I kind of made a note, like, becoming king after Philip, is it sketchy or is it not sketchy? So we kind of have both sides there. Colby, did you guys hear anything different than what Aiden spoke about?
Well, we kind of talked about like that he was letting everybody like get their own culture, and that he was like, from what we have so far, that he was a good person. But one person in our group said that they watched the video, and he like would kill people that got in his way. So that's kind of like another perspective of the story.
Yeah, so again, guys, if it's any reason to go watch that video, again, it gives you another side. So it's really, really interesting to have that side of Alexander as well. Let me take it to some of you guys. Keegan.
Our group was kind of 50-50. Like, he did let people who that he took land over keep their freedom and stuff, but he also was very demanding and stuff, and that's what our group was like, we don't like that about him.
Yeah, so he could have been very demanding along the way. He had a lot of special requests. I mean, call me this, do this, greet me like this. So that's kind of, I mean, we see that little side of that, you know, self-centeredness too. So that's pretty telling sometimes. Leilani.
Well, I kind of agree with what Aiden and Keegan said. Like, I really don't have anything else because I think I really like Alexander as a good person, but
yeah, like
before it's a little sketchy that his father was murdered and then he becomes king.
Right.
That's a little suspicious.
It is to me as well.
But I completely agree with Aiden and Keegan.
Thank you so much for that. And then we'll take it to Jordan for the last say. Jordan, do you have anything different from these gentlemen?
Yes, our group 100% thought that Alexander was great. And one of the things we brought up was that he was trained by Aristotle. So since he was smart, that proves he was more than likely an effective ruler.
Ooh, that's a really good point too, that I think sometimes people forget, is that he was trained. And, you know, at a young age, you're so impressionable. Like, I feel like things that you learn, the more younger you are, the longer you keep with you in your life. So trained by Aristotle at a young age, we know he was one of the smartest philosophers. That's a great point you make, Jordan. So hopefully we remember that too when we get to our Socratic seminar. Speaking of the Socratic seminar, guys, I wanted to take this moment. And by the way, if you did not get these, I'll post this screenshot so that you guys can kind of hear our final conversations for today, or from today rather. I'm going to go ahead and take it to our independent work for today, because again, it might seem like a lot. It's really not, because, you know, the document's pretty long, but we want to make sure we have a lot of information to share about Alexander. And I think you guys did a really good job in your breakout sessions. So thank you so much for that. Let's take it to your independent work for today. Okay, this is on the PowerPoint that I posted as well. So number one, I really want you guys to watch that video. I know Matthew Baxter started to watch it, and again, he's already starting to see a different side of Alexander. So it's really, really telling. Bring a pen or pencil to take some notes, to jot some notes down too. So you have both sides that you can really ask questions about. So watch the video I posted. If you're having trouble finding it, just let me know. Second, that document you guys printed out, look over it, highlight it. It's very general, but you might find some gems of some sentences in there, okay? At the end of the document, you scroll all the way down. There are 4 multiple choice questions, very easy. And then a 5th short answer. We'll look at that document in 1 second. And then guys, check your EDSB messages by Monday. The way that we're gonna do the Socratic is periods 1, 2, and 3 are gonna join from 9 to 10, and periods 5 and 6 are gonna join from 10 to 11. This, breaking it up this way is going to help so that more of you can talk, okay? More of you can be unmuted. More of you guys can say your opinion. It kills me that I can't unmute everybody at the same time. I would love to hear from everybody every single day. It just can't happen. So we're gonna break it up. Your EDSB message, obviously, you can figure out where you are. I'm first period, so I'm gonna be 9 to 10 on Monday. I'm in 6th period, so I'm gonna be 10 to 11 on Monday. So, but if you have any questions, let me know about where you think you might stand. Okay, so that's your assignments today. Check your EDSB messages by Monday. Okay, so I'm not gonna start sending out the messages today. I'll send them out later, maybe Friday, just to say, hey, just remember for Monday, you're gonna be in session 1, you're in period 2, so you're session 1. Okay, so that's how we're gonna break it up. And then office hours this Friday. As you guys know, we have a 2-hour block of office hours right before everything is due. So I'm gonna break the office hours up like this. Again, this PowerPoint is posted if you needed to refer back to it. Now from 9 to 10 is going to be a Socratic seminar help session. So if you need help with the documents, if you need help figuring out your thoughts, if you need help deciding if he's great or not, if you just want to talk about Alexander and find more information. I know Cooper came to the session last Friday and was like, I just want to know more about the battles of the Persian War. Can we just talk about that? So we just went in depth a little bit more about the battles. So if you want to go more in depth about Alexander, that's definitely something we can do from 9 to 10. Now from 10 to 11, we are going to review for the chapter 29 test on TCI. We're going to just do a little review session because on Friday is your chapter 29 test. Okay, remember that's going back to the Greek legacy and the golden age. So again, that's the beauty of having everything due Friday. Okay, so we have to do that test. Now your Alexander assignment, I'm gonna just share that with you very, very quickly, okay? The Socratic seminar is Monday. Yes, just to clarify, it is Monday. So this is your Alexander document that you should have printed. As you can see, it really starts out by saying, is Alexander truly great? And that's the whole point of our Socratic. So it's a great article. It has wonderful information and then also kind of defines some words that are a little tougher in here. So use these to help you. And then if you scroll all the way down, this is your assignment that's going to be due Friday. It's just multiple choice questions. So there's number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then finally, what is the author's purpose of writing this article? So with a Socratic seminar, it's really, really good to know the purpose of your sources. So while the video might be more anti-Alexander, this document, his purpose might be to educate us on what he did well. So read the article. Now, I had a question earlier. If you are having trouble printing this out, can I just write like A, B, C, and D on a piece of paper and then my short answer and then just take a picture? Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely. Now, just remember, I am grading it for accuracy though. So make sure you do get 1, 2, 3, and 4 right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a short answer. Feel free to do it on a sheet of notebook paper and then just take a photo. All right, if that's easier for you, I'm gonna accept that. I'm gonna accept that from you. If you guys wanna print it out and do it and take a picture on here, cool, do it. If you have the capabilities, that would be super, super amazing. But 1 through 4 is graded for accuracy. Number 5, obviously, if you give me 2 words, I'm gonna, take some points off. So make sure you guys use all this space. I'm not going to grade what you say. I'm going to grade how you say it. So make sure you give me detail. Okay, hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. So I'm going to take it to, if anybody has any questions about the assignments. I know since a couple chapters are like running together, it might be a little overwhelming. I don't intend that at all. Mr. Grant, what's your question?
I was just wondering, like, should we, once we finish it, we're supposed to take a photo of it and Edsby message it? Like,
yeah, you can do that for all your assignments.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
totally. That's easiest for you. It's easy for me to do it that way too. Sebastian, did you have a question?
Oh, I almost forgot.
No worries. Anyways, guys, that is everything that you should be doing today. The video, the document, practicing. Colby and Aiden, I can't thank you guys enough for your hosting today. You guys did an amazing job. Is there any last words that you wanted to say? Aiden, you can go first.
Yeah, actually, if you guys have any questions, like after you've read the article or watched the whole video, then you're always welcome to come into Miss Kara's office hours from 2 to 3, or on Fridays from, like, I think 9 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great point, guys. If you are having trouble, if you are, having questions, pop in, okay? I mean, Aiden's there every day in office hours along with some others. And, the first thing I always say is, like, let's talk about the lesson. What do you guys have? Let's get that out of the way, So really, really come and ask those questions. Friday is going to be more structured. So feel free to come Friday too. That's a 2-hour stretch of office hours. So pop in, guys. I'd love to talk anything Alexander with you guys. Again, we usually take about 4 days of this lesson and we're cramming it. So I'd love to talk more about him. He's a really neat character. So thank you, Aiden. Colby, what do you have?
I would just say, like, when Monday comes around, just be sure, like, you have all your stuff ready, because it's not, like, if a question or topic is asked during the meeting, you don't want to have to find your papers. You should have them in order and organized. So, like, if I say, like, is Alexander really great because, like, such and such, then you should be able to have the proof if he is or isn't.
100%. Yeah, like in the video when it says this, blah, blah, blah. Quoting those sources, having those sources ready, 1,000,000% yes. Colby, is there anybody here today that you just want to say hello to, just that you missed, that you want to shout out?
I'll say hello to Jack Grant.
All right. Nice shout out to Jack Grant. Aiden, who do you want to say hi to?
I'll go with a shout out to Cole Tuning.
All right, Cole. Hi, Cole. And then I'm going to shout out all my Hominols. House Hominol all the way. Good to see you guys in today's lesson and, of course, every day. I'm going to be on office hours from 2 to 3 today. Pop in if you have any questions about any of the work. I'm happy to help. And, of course, Friday is going to be an extended session, so hopefully we'll see you guys on Friday. And just take it one day at a time, guys. You have a whole hour to go do some of this work while it's still fresh in your mind. Alexander's a neat character to look further into. So I hope you guys have a good day, a good time with the activity. I miss you guys very, very much. And I hope that your day is fantastic. Enjoy it. Thanks to Aiden and Colby. Thanks to all of you guys for your contributions today. And I'll see you in office hours, if not next week. Can't believe this is my last day to teach of the week. Crazy. So come on by and say hey, guys. Have a beautiful day. Bye.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye, you too.